Welsh Rugby convert Louis Rees-Zammit's rookie minicamp with the Chiefs has been and gone. In this video, the crew will discuss the feedback on his journey so far and looking at how he could fit in the NFL. We will continue to chart Louis Rees-Zammit's journey into the NFL throughout the off-season. Now, without further ado, welcome to the Ballers across the pond. The Chiefs rookie minicamp has been and gone.
Yeah.
And obviously, with our name, Ballers Across the Pond, we have a baller across the pond, from this side of the pond, in the Kansas City Chiefs, namely Louis Rees-Zammit, who is trying, well, at the moment, they are trying him out at running back, at his size and frame, and from the murmurings that are coming out of Kansas City, they're really happy with, firstly, his attitude in terms of wanting to learn, his speed of learning things and picking things up very quickly. Andy Reid particularly liked his footwork in terms of one of the things that rugby players, when they transfer over, well, when somebody tries to transfer over from rugby to the NFL, is their stride pattern tends to be too big. You know, when they get the ball, and then they try and run, they try and basically get into a big stride pattern. Whereas Rees-Zammit has this good habit of having shorter steps to start off before, obviously, when you're trying to find a hole, you need to have shorter strides because you are trying to be patient and trying to pick the hole and then cut into it. So I think they like that in terms of they're not having to teach him different habits, and the pad level stuff will all come with time.
He's so diligent with everything and wants to be so good at everything, and that's I've appreciated that, and you can see the progress he's made. You guys saw yesterday with the long run he had on the screen. So he's I thought he was going to dive in the end zone, but other than that, he was good. That's all right. He did good. Yeah, he's done a good job of working on holding the ball. They do hold a little bit different, bigger ball, and not quite as pointy as a football. So he's done a good job with that, working that. He'll learn the pad level. The first time he gets hit, he'll be able to adjust where he's at there, but I like the fact that he's got shorter steps initially. That's a good thing as a running back. If you're a long strider in there, you got to really work on making it through those tight adjustments that you have to make. So
sometimes as well, when you get people who move across sports, it actually works to your advantage because, like I said, your running style is not something defenders are used to necessarily seeing. So people get used to sort of one-cut runs. They get used to like a certain style in terms of running backs. But he's not really going to run like a running back necessarily. He's going to take what works, but I think he's going to have his own unique style, and it's deceptive. Like we saw like years ago, who was it that came over from rugby league? Jared Payne?
Yeah, but that was that ended not so well. He did end up in jail.
Didn't end well. But if you looked at his punt returns, it was deceptive. He was able to make defenders miss, but he wasn't really doing a lot of jump cuts. He was doing the standard cut and go. So I think they call it a goose step in rugby. So he was doing like a little bit of a goose step here and there, and it sort of made the defenders a bit sort of reluctant because they're seeing a certain technique that they're not used to seeing. I think if he can bring this into the game, try and mix it up with what he's learning, it's going to be awkward for tacklers to deal with him because, like I said, he's got a really good frame, he's got good height, and he's got good speed.
He's got a level of speed that probably, if you look at the height, speed,
that's top end receiver speed. That's top end
like
receiver speed.
He's got a very good level of speed, and the thing is that, especially with the rules, how things are going, he's going to be dynamic in more than one play, more than one phase of the game as well. Because special teams, you see him in the rookie minicamp footage that some fans have taken, that he has been catching high balls like
Yep.
from punts. So
Yeah,
or
that
from
was the one
kickoffs.
thing I
So
was worried. Yeah, that was the one thing. But then again, playing out on the wing, you kind of had to know a bit of
well, he has played.
fullback. So
I
you have
think
to
he
be
did play a
confident.
little bit of fullback as well
So you
in
have to be
rugby. So
confident
yeah,
under the
under the
high
high
ball.
ball.
And with the new changes as well on special teams, when those defenders come at you, what does that look like? Because they're coming in a line. It's not
It looks like
staggered
a
anymore.
Yeah,
rugby front.
It looks like a rugby front. So I think
yeah,
that's probably what Andy Reid is thinking. He's going to think, you know what? He's going to be more natural in this because he's used to seeing defenders all in a line as opposed to in levels. Like you got your two gunners and then you got your
yeah.
inside clamps coming in 10 yards afterwards. So I think this is definitely going to pay dividends. You know,
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
I say,
I definitely
it's a
agree.
little bit. It's a little bit of a tidbit, right?
Yeah.
We're getting little dribs, and when OTAs happen, obviously, the thing is that Ricky Minicamp is really good for someone like him because he got a lot of touches, right? He got a lot
Yeah.
of reps. When OTAs come,
Yeah.
he's not going to get as many reps
Yep.
to the
So
same
he
level.
needs to make
No,
the
he's
most of
not.
it.
He's
So-
not. And make the most of it. I won't be surprised if we kind of see Zammit more than we thought we might see him this season. The reason why I say that is because Andy Reid has this unique way of scheming up certain things for certain players at certain opportune time, and he's not afraid to play
He's not
players
afraid to do it. That's
for
the main
them
thing.
to get experience. Because when you think about the Chiefs over the past couple of years, and the reason why they've been able to even win 2 Super Bowls or win Super Bowls since Tyreek left is because they've drafted extremely well within their scouting department. And Andy Reid has played the rookies right from the jump. He's played 6th-round cornerbacks like L'Jarius Sneed. They're not afraid to play the youngsters and let them learn and grind through the season so that by the time they get to the postseason, they establish and they know what their roles are.
Because
So
they're going to be in the postseason. So they ain't worried
I'll be
about that.
surprised as much as Zammit might be on the practice squad early on, but as the season progresses, I'm surprised if he's activated for a couple of games to return.
The thing is,
kicks has been
we've got to
talking
see
about.
how his development is, and the thing is, one thing that we really don't know, obviously, is the status of Rashid Rice.
Yep.
We're not going to talk about that in detail, but that's all up in the air at the moment. So we, especially with the second thing potentially coming out of this last week. So we're not going to talk about that in any detail, but that can potentially improve things for other people on the depth chart because there may be an extra spot for them.
I just want to say that Andy Reid, just like Pete said, is really good with putting players in the right position. He's the type of guy that will put him in a game. He'll say, all right, we're going to run a draw play. Okay. I want you to give it to Reese. I want him to line up at running back. This isn't because he's the running back, but they just want to get his head in the game. They want him to take a few thuds, get him warm, get him in the game, let him take a hit from a linebacker. Yep. And that's going to be how they ease him in. He's not afraid to do that. Other coaches won't do that.
And do you know the
That's
thing
something
is
Andy
that
Reid will do.
he knows how, he's played enough rugby to know how to absorb hits as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's no jitters for him. I think for him, it's mainly just getting that first run over and done with, and then lights are on. That's all it's about. It's like we're going to run him in the draw, even though we have him in the slot. He's going to run the ball.
I think they can they said screenplays as well. Get him the ball and let him use his speed and his
We're just going to do a
as well.
standard toss. We're going to give him a toss sweep. He's going to get it. Let's see what he does. Oh, he got tackled for us. Okay, cool. Next quarter, we're going to give him the ball again on that same play, but opposite direction. Andy Reid's not afraid to do this. Some coaches will have a guy on their team.
Preseason is going to be very fun to watch,
and they won't use him. This is also I was going to say just before we end off here. I think that this is the perfect situation for him. Like he couldn't have asked for a better spot. We saw with Christian Wade and the Buffalo Bills, man. Those guys don't run the ball. He was never going to
By
get
the
on.
time he was there.
He was never going to get on. But could you imagine if Wade had gone to the Chiefs? What they would have potentially been able to do or utilized. So
I think
he couldn't have
the big
asked for a better
difference
situation.
was Wade was obviously 28, 29 when he tried to switch across.
Yeah,
So learning at that age is a big difference to learning at 22
Absolutely.
fair enough. Fair
in
enough.
terms
But
of
I feel as
habits.
though, like, in terms of you using the player, he couldn't have asked for a better slot. I think this, Miami, and I'm just thinking of anywhere else, maybe the old England Patriots with Bill Belichick there, strangely
No, I don't
enough.
think that would have been the right position.
But
I think,
outside of
here or
that,
Miami, that was
I'm
about it.
thinking they're the only guys with the guts and like Brazzaz to be like, hey, let's just do it. He's a weapon. Yes, let's utilize him. You know,
I think the
is he
Chiefs
going to
is
make
the
a
perfect
mistake?
place for
Maybe.
him to go. So
Yeah,
let's.
and they've
We're
got
gonna
Pat
get
Mahomes.
we're gonna get more footage of how
Yeah,
he's done over the coming weeks. Obviously, when more training actually happens, we'll see what he's able to do, and we'll be hanging on every press conference from Andy Reid to see what he's talking about him and how he's actually progressing, because everybody wants to know, and that's the beauty, because he is a starlet in the making, and let's just see how he goes. And obviously, there are other ballers from across the pond on other teams as well. So let's
I'm
just
just I'm just playing off my head. We can end it after this. I was saying, oh, he's fumbled the ball. That's fine. Pat Mahomes will score a touchdown anyway. If you go to some other team, oh, he's fumbled the ball. That's all right. Drew Lock's gonna score a touchdown anyway.
that's
That's the
the
difference.
that's the difference. He's got Patrick Mahomes, so it's a big difference. So yeah, let's see what Louis Rees-Zammit does over the coming weeks, because coming a couple of months before we get to even get to preseason itself, because the world is his oyster at the moment, and the thing is, he needs to learn that playbook. And apparently, so the one thing that I will say is, obviously in rugby there are about 20 to 30 set pieces they need to learn, they need to know. So he's just got to scale up that ability of knowing, scrums and lineouts, what he needs to do, and it's getting that concept and just applying it. And the thing is, his father played tight end. Yep, it was brick ball level, but his father played tight end, so there is a bit of experience. He has somebody to lean on in terms of family, that he understands how to go through playbooks, etc., etc. So it's not just him working with the team. He has somebody in his own camp that can help him as well.